Wow, so we've got this spreadsheet now of all our comments, and if you scroll through that spreadsheet, there's a lot to it, and it's pretty difficult to read. So I'm going to show you a few tricks in Excel to make this Excel spreadsheet a little more readable, a little more user-friendly. All right, let's start by getting rid of some of the information we don't need in this spreadsheet. Those first three columns, columns A, B, and C, we can get rid of. So I'm going to click and drag over the column headers to highlight them, and then just click any one of the three column headers, right click, and select delete. All right, that gets rid of those three columns. Now, as far as the headers across those columns, the remaining columns, let's just retitle them something a little more meaningful. I'm going to retitle that one Code, Category. This one is Gender, and this one is just Comment. Okay. All right. Now what I need to do is, let's take those three columns. So I'll highlight them. Maybe I want to center the text inside those columns. So I'll just click the center button. I might have to do that twice. All right, so now all that text is centered in those columns. Perfect. What you could even do is I could take those three columns and maybe make them a little smaller by dragging on that dividing line between each column until you get just the right width. You don't need to make them too big because, it all depends on how important that information is to you. All right, so still have a lot of stuff there, and it's still pretty tough to read. So now what I'm going to do is, I think what I'll do is I'll make the font a little bigger, and I'm going to space the rows out a little more. So to do that, I want to select the entire spreadsheet. To do that, I take my cursor and I scroll up here to the top right corner of that spreadsheet, and then click. What that does is it selects the entire spreadsheet, all the rows, all the columns. So now what I want to do is I am going to make the rows a little bigger, a little taller. So I just scroll down here with my mouse, and I just put my mouse on the dividing line between any one of those rows, and then click and drag. Just drag it down. What it does is it makes the rows a little taller. Perfect. All right, now let's take the information, while everything's still highlighted, let's take the information in those cells, all of the different cells of my spreadsheet, and I want to center that information inside each cell. To do that, I scroll up to the top here, and I click the middle align button. All right, it's starting to look a little nicer. With it all still selected, I'm going to change my font to maybe 14 point to make it a little more readable. All right, starting to look a lot better now. Now, I still have a lot of comments in that spreadsheet, so I need some way to manage those comments and be able to sort through them depending on what subject area I might be working on at any point in time. So what I'm going to do is we're going to use something called filters. So I'm just going to click my mouse anywhere on the spreadsheet here just to get rid of the highlighting. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight those three categories, or the sort of the column headers across the top: code, category, gender, and comment. With those four categories, or those four headers highlighted, I'm now going to go up here to sort and filter, and I'm going to say filter. So what that does is it puts little drop down arrows down on each one of those columns. So while you're working with this spreadsheet, and I can just scroll through it with my mouse, and I can see that this spreadsheet's pretty big. I've got, as I scroll through it, where's the bottom of that spreadsheet? I've got 260 comments in that spreadsheet. So that's a lot of comments to work with. But if I'm just doing my ELA comments at any point in time, or my math comments, or my science comments at any point in time, those are the only comments that I need to see while I'm working on that spreadsheet. So what I've done by putting these category or these filters across the top is it allows me now to take the category of comments that I'm looking at, and now I can select the category that I want to view. So if I don't need to see all of my comments, all 260 of them at any point in time, what I could do is say, all right, well, don't show me all of them, just show me my math comments. And now as you scroll through your list here, you'll notice that you're only looking at your math comments. and I can see that this teacher, looks like this teacher has got her comments divided up between the 3 terms. You might even want to filter by term as well. To select another category, you could just pick the category header again and say, all right, just show me the visual arts. Oops. Unselect all and just show me the visual arts comments. So now I'm just looking at my visual arts comments. Now you'll notice that these comments are all doubled up. So this particular comment here and this comment here, they're the exact same comment. The only difference between those 2 comments is this first comment is the female version of that comment, meaning that it contains her and she and herself, as opposed to him and himself or himself and he. So they're gender specific. So if you are going to take this particular comment and copy it and paste it into PowerTeacher Pro, you don't have to worry about going back and changing the his and the hers and the she, he's and the she's. The only thing that you have to watch for, that you have to do once you've pasted that comment into PowerTeacher Pro, is you have to replace first name with whatever that student's first name is. And you'll notice that each one of those comments, what we've done with first name was we've blocked it off all as one block of text, so it makes it very easy to select. So when you're in PowerTeacher Pro, you would just have to double click on first name and it will pick just the first name section with the 2 little leading underlines in front of it. Those little underlines just make it a little easier to pick them out while you're working with that text in PowerSchool. But that's the only thing that you would have to do. Copy the comment from the gender specific comment from Excel, paste it into PowerTeacher Pro, then just go through that comment, and anywhere where you see the underline first name, underline, you want to double click that and replace it with Jim or Sally or Susan or Bill, whatever the student's first name is. And you would have to do that for every instance of first name inside a comment. All right, well, I hope those little tips help you out and get you working with your comments in your comment bank. Given the fact that PowerSchool Teacher or the new version of PowerTeacher doesn't support a teacher managed comment bank, this is probably our best option. Hope that helps, and good luck with report cards.